So anyway, while they're still playing frisbee golf, I thought I'd give you a real quick rundown, just some of the gear I have with me. First, I'll start with shoes. I have the Topos, or the Topos. But anyway, they're a really good shoe. I mean, really good lugging, Vibram sole. I have maybe 250 miles on these, and there's not a whole lot of wear. I don't know why, but they seem to be good shoes. As you can see, they're pretty damn muddy. But they come with attachments for your gaiters. Gaiters to keep, rocks and twigs from getting down into your shoe and causing you to stop and have to get the damn rock or the twig out of your shoe. They've done great. They're thin in the heel and in the midsole, but they're very wide in the toe box. My foot is not wide, but I tend to find most shoes too narrow. Like I've worn Hoka's, I've worn Brooks. I actually liked Vosks. Vosks were good. But in general, these, right out of the box, these things worked for me right away. I could tell within a couple of miles that these worked. When I first put them on, they were a little bit tight here, and maybe this outside piece on my Achilles touched a little too much. After 2 miles, it was gone. No big deal. I really like them. I highly recommend them. I might have gotten the last pair available on the internet. Another piece of gear that's been really cool. This yellow puffy you see that's like stands out like a sore thumb. 2 pockets, 2 interior pockets, right here. It's Tony Hawk brand. Yeah, I just bought this one day in Kohl's. I think it was on sale for $40. It's not a high quality down, but it's doing fine for me. And the whole thing folds up into the left pocket. So what I do is I just take the left pocket and I keep folding it until the whole puffy's inside of there. It fits into a little like compact ball. I put it inside of a gallon Ziploc bag and stash it in here to keep it dry, because I do not wear this out in the rain. I do not do it. This is what I want to keep dry, because the minute you stop hiking, within 5 to 10 minutes, you're so chilled, you have to start putting layers on. But I'm very happy with this, and the reason I bought the Tony Hawk brand was because an old acquaintance of mine from Crescent Butte, Colorado, Lotzi, was Tony's, second or third wife. And she was a, very pleasant mountain girl. She worked for the Resort Sports Network as a presenter. Anyway, I always liked her, and I thought she was married to Tony, so I'd go ahead and support them and buy the Tony Hawk Puffy at Macy's on sale. But anyway, it's a great design. I wish he would do a little bit of a higher-end model for maybe more hardcore outdoor stuff, but this thing's been working fine for me. Really happy with it. My backpack is the Osprey Exos 58 liter. It's been great. No complaints. The only complaint is special to me, and that is I have very shallow nerves in my shoulders, and their padding in this shoulder is not quite up to what I would want. I think it just needs to be a little bit thicker, but I resolve that by just doing a little microfiber towel. I carry this around, and all I do is I just take this, I fold it over, and I just tuck it up onto my shoulder. I have a nerve, for whatever reason, it pinches me here. It goes down the back of my tricep, down to my little finger, and also sometimes it reaches around and gets my shoulder blade in the back. And it's just somewhat annoying, but it's one of those things where it starts to happen. I readjust this little shoulder padding, and it goes away for 3 or 4 hours, and I forget it's even happened for a long time. The other thing, I do the double sock. Under here is a darn tough hiking sock, and I got this at Mountain Crossings. The reason I got it was because I was having some foot irritation. The bottom of my feet were getting irritated from walking. And I have smart wool socks I normally use for skiing or for hunting, but they're not hiker socks. You want to get hiker socks because they tend to be a tighter knit weave, and they are less coarse on the bottom of your feet, and it's definitely, better. I just brought these out because I had them. I've had these for years. Smart Wool was my first introduction to merino wool, and they're really great socks. I love them. But right now they're on top of my darn tough hiker socks, which is my first layer. The Smart Wool being the second layer, and it just fills it out. My feet have done a 360. The blistering, or the blisters that started that I pre-treated are gone. I was able to I preemptively struck against them, and it definitely paid off. Um, yeah, feet are strong. Feet feel good. My issues right now after 2 weeks is I'm getting a little bit of knee pain, and as you can see, I have one of those copper deals on my knee. I've had it on there for a while. It kind of seems to work. Not really. I don't know. They work better on my hands, like as a glove. As far as joint pain is concerned, not so much on my knees yet, but who knows? We'll see. My left knee's been complaining a little bit, but not a lot. But my right knee's been the main pseudo problem. I wouldn't even call it a problem. It's just downhills are tough, and you obviously you're either going up or you're going down, or you're going up or down. It's just the way it is. And these shorts, these regular old shorts that I got at Kohl's for $20, they're like Urban Pipeline or something. They have 2 zippered pockets, one on each leg. They have 2 front pockets and 1 back pocket. These zippered pockets are great, because I can put my wallet in this side and I sleep with my wallet. And I can put my cash on this side and I sleep with my cash. And it's, I always know where everything is. Now, I'm a little bit superstitious because if you sink in a boat 10 miles offshore and you're swimming around, you lose your fishing rods, you lose your cooler, you lose everything you have. When they finally get you back on shore to a marina, at least you still have your wallet with you, which means you can go to the bar and have a couple of drinks. And if I were out on a boat, I would have my keys in my other pocket. That way I can still drive home. So that's a little superstition of mine. I always keep my wallet and my keys in my pockets if I'm fishing or boating in general. And now that I'm hiking, I always keep my wallet in a zippered pocket and my cash is in another pocket. That's just one of my little pet peeves. One of my superstitions. I don't have many superstitions, but wallet and keys / cash on you in a secured pocket is definitely a plus. My hiking poles. Ascend brand. Got them at Kohl's. Nobody ever complains about their poles that much. The only complaints I've ever heard about poles are from people that have the carbon fiber poles because they snap. You never know when you're going to be entertaining the crowd and walking backward and step on somebody's poles, or you're throwing them in the back of a van and somebody has a heavy pack and they throw them on top of your poles. At least with aluminum poles, you can kind of bend them back where they need to go. But with a carbon fiber pole, if they snap, you kind of have to tape them, and at that point they're compromised. But anyway, to each his own. Everybody do your own thing. Duct tape. I have a little bit of 3M waterproof tape here. It's supposed to be breathable waterproof tape. It doesn't work for me unless you're going to completely wrap a toe. It has to wrap on itself. It won't stick to your skin very well at all. And even KT tape, that's only good for a couple of days. I haven't found a Leuco tape yet. Leuco tape is the big popular thing out here on the AT. I haven't found any. Moleskin's just too thick. Anyway, that's just my assessment. Oh, and I got a Tyvek ground cloth. Boy, Tyvek is noisy. Now, they say after a few weeks, I don't know, I've had it 4 or 5 days, it's just noisy. It's decent protection for the bottom of your tent, and I only have it because I haven't found a ground profile for my Gossamer Gear The Two. I have the Gossamer Gear for 2, and if anybody out there knows the people at Gossamer Gear, I have a critique of their tent that they need to address, in my opinion, right away, because both vestibule doors open the same way. And if there's a cool breeze coming in and you don't want to, make your tent frosty, there's nothing you can do. You have to open up one side. And if that side's facing toward the wind, your whole tent fills with cold air. And I would imagine in the summertime it would be the same thing. If you want to get a cool breeze into your tent, but the wind's not blowing the right direction, you only have one side that you can open up to scoop the air. It's the whole scoop thing. See, I think that where they made their faulty thinking was that if they're going to make a two-person tent, they want both sides symmetrical, so that both people can open up the mosquito netting, go out, unzip the vestibule, the same direction, no big deal. It's a two-person tent. But when the cold wind is blowing, this cold air scoops in, fills up the whole tent with cold air, when maybe if the vestibule had been on the other side, you could have opened it that way, and it wouldn't have scooped the cold air. Now, in the summertime, if the cool air is blowing in the opposite direction of which way the vestibule opening, you're not going to get the cool air. You're always going to be, in other words, the tent just is always going to face one direction with respect to the wind when it needs to open up both directions. That's my only critique of the two. Maybe make the bathtub liner in the two a little bit higher, so that when you're camping and you're not on a flat level spot, your pad is going to naturally gravitate you toward the downhill side, which draws the top of the tent down, which brings the mosquito netting on the top side down onto the ground. So if you happen to be downhill in a torrential downpour on a closed Forestry Service road where the water is streaming down the tire tracks of the old road, it can then come up through the mosquito netting, a river runs through it, and go right through your tent. Maybe that happened. But anyway, it's still a good tent. I'm not going to bash it too much. I'm still completely happy with it. But maybe I'll do a further review with a full video later on. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. These guys are coming up. There's Allie. They've rounded the turn here at the Frisbee. There's Allie.
Hey!
Hey, what are you guys doing?
They are terrible at this game.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Terrible.
Hi. So anyway, what is it, day 15 or day 16 now? I'm at Fontana Village Resort. This is in the upper area away from the marina. They classify themselves as a resort area. It's about 600 and some odd acres, and it's a dry county. So in order for them to sell beer and wine and things like that, they have to declare themselves a resort. And that's what they've done. And it's a nice place. They have a disc golf course out here right now that the jokers are out there playing right now. And I say jokers as a term of endearment. It's the young guns. You know, it's Allie from Oklahoma. I call her Tornado Allie. We're still trying to figure out with a more artistic. Tornado Allie, Oklahoma. I call her Tornado because she's a very fast hiker. We have Jake, who is Meatlog right now. I always call him Jake Rabbit. That's okay. We have Kevin. Kevin is Gadunk. Other people have called him Guitar Boy because he carries a guitar on his backpack. Then we have Leo, who is Gazelle, or Gazelle Grumper. He's going by Grumper now, which is fun. But anyway, the Hiker Haze 2021. It's Friday and Saturday, March 19th and March 20th. And they have, they have a historic boat tour. It's $15. They have a Leave No Trace presentation where they're going to have coffee, tea, and donuts provided for a kind of like a Leave No Trace from an expert type of seminar. 5:30 marshmallow roast. They have marshmallows provided. 6 to 9 live music. Food and games. That's what I'm curious about. Food. Hang out at the Marina Trail Crossing for games, food, and drinks. Live music by Troutmouth. Troutmouth, I don't know much about them, but I'm sure if they're a regular old band, it'll be a good time. And then 9:15, they have the free movie and popcorn. And we're going to watch Mile and a Half about the John Muir Trail. Popcorn provided while supplies last. Well, anyway, we're up here. It's a cloudy, overcast day. We went by the Hilton earlier. Not the hotel. It's the Fontana Hilton. It's the nicest shelter on the AT. And there was nobody there. And we thought we'd just go to the general store and get a resupply. When we go to the general store or the marina, they are general resupplies. They are not a grocery store. You know, you go in and they're going to have your bare bones basics. Every variety of potato, ramen noodle, chicken with chicken flavored rice and things like that. I got some bags, beer, because they can sell beer here because it's designated a resort. And yeah, we had a easy hike in, got to the marina, waited around, the other people showed up. We hiked the 1.5 miles to the shelter. And then we got to the shelter, we immediately called for a shuttle. And Swa was his name. His wife works here. She's the recreational director or something like that. And he drove us around, gave us a lay of the land. The cabins look nice. They're up there on the hill, but let me see if I can do it. They're kind of past that greenery a little bit. But anyway, they're painted so that they blend into the hills. You know what I mean? Like a lot of resorts do that. They don't want to be obnoxious with coloring in the hills, like this yellow puffy. But anyway, I think it's an 18-hole disc golf course. These guys are out playing it. They're having a good old time. They picked up a little bit of beer. You know, we just drank, goofed off, busting on each other. You know, it's the group I've been hiking with for a while. So they're a lot of fun. I've hiked with this group. I've hiked with that group. And that's just the way it goes. You leapfrog a lot. These guys are a funny, happy group. I enjoy their company. But anyway, we have this whole itinerary of things to do today. And that's all there is. Cloudy, overcast. Fontana Lake is way down low. Everybody's really friendly. We've had a great time. We did a Nero today, so we're gonna head out tomorrow morning and head into the Smokies. And like I think I said before, we picked up Allie. Allie was by herself. Her former hiking partner hurt his ankle at the NOC or the NOC or the Nantahala Outdoor Center, whatever you want to call it. So she continued on. She hikes big miles. She doesn't play around. We've mostly been playing around. She's 4 days behind us, and she reeled us in. So she's out here humping pretty hard. No, not like that. Anyway, we're having a good time, and I just thought I'd let you know. These guys are out here having a good time playing frisbee golf. It's up here. I think if you talk to them, you could probably arrange it. But it's hiker appreciation weekend, and I think that's why they've kind of like opened it up a little bit. I don't know if you could just come in here on a regular weekend and say, hey, can I play frisbee golf? And they might say yes, but who knows. But anyway, talk to you later.